What is the case all about? The case is about a middle school cheating scandal. This case began at the spring of 2006 and it lasted to March 2012. It happened at Parks Middle School in Atlanta. The main character is Damien Lewis, a math teacher at Parks Middle School in Atlanta, and other characters are also mentioned, like the Parks principal, Christopher Waller. Why they did this? Because the subjects that would determine, under the No Child Left Behind guidelines, whether Parks would be classified as a school in need of improvement for the 6th year in a row, unless 58% of students passed the math portion of the test and 67% passed in language arts. The state would shut down the school. I guess they did these things because they didn't want their school be shutted down by state. Over the years, Parks Middle School teachers cheated. After the exam, they distracted the coordinator to change the teacher to remove the wrong answer and fill in the correct answer. By 2008, cheating had become a well-functioning mission in the middle school. Later, grades were unusually high for cheating, and Warner, as principal of the school, became a minor celebrity of the reform movement. Parks attracted so many visitors who were eager to understand the school's turnaround that teachers had to come up with ways to explain it. By 2010, the investigative team had found suspicious erasure in the classroom. And after interviews and confessions against the accused cheating teachers, the teachers and the principal were fired. And in the end, the school was finally merged with another middle school, which Lewis called our archrival. The students were still in the Parks building, which had been renamed, but in a year, they would move into a renovated building. This is how the investigation team discovered the cheating scandal at this school and the end of the incident. This incident tells the story of Parks Middle School teachers and principal who cheated in order for the school not to be shut down. The middle school was 3 miles south of downtown Atlanta. Due to historical and other factors, this place is very poor and violent place with drug trade and robbery. So it's obvious that the fundamental reason why public education here was not good is that people here were very poor. The family economy in the rich area is better educated, so the family invests more love and advanced values to care for the children's education, and the corresponding poor people who are not well educated are often low-quality survival is the first priority. And even robbery has to achieve the goal. so their children don't get the attention of their parents and don't have the sense of self-motivation and even do some bad things. For schools in such areas, it's very difficult to reach a measurement defined by no child left behind, so teachers chose to cheat. I think the key lessons learned are the standard of no child left behind at that time didn't apply to the educational assessment of the region, which was too high for students and teachers. And different standards should be set for students in different regions. And I felt that the standard of the child left behind over-emphasized the importance of student achievement and ignored other aspects such as morality. The assessment of the school environment and the teaching of teachers should be taken seriously. If the status of schools is to be changed, it's not only the responsibilities of schools, teachers, and principals, but also the government needs to rectify the chores in the area so that students can go to school safely and allocate financial assistance to the families of poor students in the area. Therefore, the key lesson is that it was only a shallow formulation of the standard of achievement without taking into account the actual situation, not specific to each point of implementation. Imagine I were a teacher at Parks Middle School, what would I do differently? This shows that students didn't have self-confidence in learning. Therefore, I think that as a teacher at Parks, I will really encourage the students to be interested in learning. And there are always the violence, poverty, and hunger happen to these students' families. So, as a teacher at Parks, I will give feedback to the state about the problems in this area, hoping that the government can help solve the security problems here. As far as the responsibility of the teacher is concerned, is to care for the group of children as much as possible and let them grow up in an environment of loving education. I think that implementing good moral education is much more important than focusing on grades.